Okay, I'm going to talk about the five major genres of music. That was blues. Blues is generally based on a 1-4-5 progression. If you don't know what that means a lot of the songs, no matter what key you're in, you can pick and choose from 12 different keys, essentially, whether it's major or minor and beyond. And 1-4-5. So if I'm in the key of A is the 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. A, B, C, D is the 4. Back to the 1. So it's based on some blues. And modern blues today is become a little bit more complicated than just that, But essentially, if you want to know what the blues are a way of expressing yourself. It's one of the oldest forms of American music, predates rock, rock and roll. Rock and roll is based on the blues. But it's got a 1-4-5 progression, uses a lot of pentatonic scales, primarily the one with the extension. B.B. King, for example, he did so much stuff in that position. Okay, so jazz. Jazz is also American. Jazz is, probably more complicated in the sense that, with the blues, you're not necessarily using a lot of major, minor, and seventh chords. Sometimes, you're using some 13th, but in jazz, they use the jazz guitars. Those players always hold the guitar a little closer. So jazz has got, a lot of times they use a 2-5-1 progression. Okay, so if I'm in key of A, I start on that B, which is the 2, because A is the 1. 2-5-1, A, B, C, D, E. So I'd go from B to an E to an A. A lot of major sevenths, minor sevenths, 13ths. It's jazz musicians like Joe Pass and all those guys. Phenomenal. George Benson, whether they're playing guitar or, saxophone, piano, just incredible players. They really are. So that's also another major. I like this song a lot. Girl from Ipanema. So that's jazz. Classical is the oldest form that I'm going to be talking about. We talked about blues and jazz. Blues and jazz are American. Yes. Very American styles influence so much in the world. And classical, some basic classical. Here's some Carcassi. One of the first songs that I ever learned. I had to learn it through a notation. But it's basic. Except for that note. But classical, so as a right-handed guitarist, I had to have a footstool, had to put my my guitar on my left knee, hold my fingers like so, not use a pick. And learn to play it that way. Also, the classical guitar players, they hold their current guitar a little closer. find a lot of like great players were classically trained, and I believe that the jazz and the classical guitars are the best. You know, may not be my favorite genre, but technically speaking, they're the best guitar players. And if you want to improve, whether you're playing folk or rock and roll, learn some elements of jazz and classical. And of course, then there's rock. It's got a faster tempo, usually, you know, than the blues. The rock comes out of the blues. Uses a lot of the same concepts. You know, I talked about the blues. A lot of the songs are based on a 1-4-5 progression. So it wasn't rock and roll, where they were taking that one, and then they were, say if you're in the key of A, they would go to the relative minor, up to the 4, up to the 5. So a lot of different influences helped out rock. Primarily, you know, the blues and country. So, you know, when I said the jazz and the classical guitars were the best, I unintentionally omitted the country. These country guys, these players, these men and women are phenomenal. I mean, they know their stuff, and they're usually so good. I mean, if they're holding their pick, they got that second and third fingers are right there. So they're playing. Check out people like Jerry Reed and Chet Atkins. Just phenomenal. So and country is just, you know, that's just an old country progression, but the modern country is just so incredible. They used to say that the difference between the blues and country, as far as like technical scales go, is that country, they're always using major scales. Blues is using minor scales. And that's not necessarily true. I mean, there's some crossover there. But with the blues and with jazz and with classical, and rock, and the country, those are the 5 major genres of music. Sometimes they blend different aspects of it, you know. What I've been finding out now is that there's this new movement, this progressive movement, which uses different aspects of all these different genres. And those players, they really know their theory. If you've seen some of my videos before, I hope you have. Hope you check out some other ones. But, you know, I like to stress that it's very important to know some theory. Learn some of your scales. Know that Western music, this is what we're all playing, you know, is those 5 genres, and there's more than just 5 genres of Western music. You know, there's 12 tones, 12 keys. There's major and minor scales. There's all different natural minor, pentatonic, harmonic minor, melodic minor, diminished scales. Get to learn some of these things. That's not much. Get to learn the difference between, or the relationship between a major and a minor, the relative major and minor chords, and how that you can go in and out. And check out some of my videos. I talk about those things, but I just wanted to give you a taste of these 5 different genres that I want to explore. And please check out some of my other videos, and keep playing and have fun.